Stephanie White, Caitlin Clark, little interaction here that seems like Caitlin Clark wasn't too happy with whatever was going on between her and the coaching staff tonight. You got Stephanie White doing the yapping that she does. Caitlin Clark doesn't want to hear it. Physically cringing. Look at this. Physically cringing, looking physically ill. Looking physically ill. Physically ill by whatever Stephanie White's saying. Like, damn, I'm tired of hearing this, but hey.
Caitlin Clark had just endured a game she'd probably love to erase from memory. But what happened after the final whistle may have raised even more questions than the game itself. As the cameras searched for reactions, attention quickly shifted toward the sideline, where something appeared noticeably off. Why did Clark seem so distant? Was there tension with Stephanie White? Or was something else happening behind the scenes that fans had completely missed until that moment? Caitlin Clark had a terrible game. The Indiana Fever suffered an embarrassing loss. And then the cameras caught a moment that sent fans into full detective mode. It wasn't a technical foul. It wasn't an ejection. It wasn't some dramatic screaming match that required security to step in and separate everybody. In fact, that's exactly what made the moment more interesting.
Pissed off. I'm still pissed. This was straight up sabotage. Stephanie White, you are a bum. Aaliyah Boston, you are even more of a bum. You are a $6 million piece of garbage out there. Your ass can't make a layup. You refuse to pass the ball to Caitlin Clark. You stink. You stink. You've been intentionally not passing the ball to Caitlin Clark for the last 7-8 games. We've been watching and counting. I've been watching your ass not pass her the.
Clark appeared to turn away from Stephanie White, and suddenly one question started taking over the conversation. Was this simply the frustration of a brutal night, or was something bigger starting to crack beneath the surface? Because when a superstar struggles, people usually focus on the missed shots. When a team loses, people usually blame the defense. But when the body language between a franchise player and her coach becomes the main topic after the game, the conversation changes very quickly. And this particular loss gave fans plenty to argue about. The Fever went into the game against a Dallas Wings team that had been struggling. Yet Indiana came away with a frustrating 91-85 defeat. There's no need to sugarcoat that performance. Clark did not play well. She missed shots she normally makes, struggled to find a consistent rhythm, and never looked comfortable within the flow of the offense. For a player capable...
Y'all thought we was done? We ain't done yet, dog. I'm here to tell you, Caitlin Clark is letting all the cats out the bag. There's too much surrounding this team nationally and internationally. In regards to Sophie Cunningham, in regards to Caitlin Clark assaults, in regards to Stephanie White not taking up for her players. Should we keep going with storyline after storyline coming out about this team? And not to mention, Stephanie White not challenging any of Caitlin Clark.
Taking over a game with one deep three-pointer, turning an ordinary possession into a highlight before the defense even realizes what happened. This was a night where almost everything felt slightly off. However, that's where the argument gets more complicated. Because one of the loudest complaints from fans wasn't simply that Clark missed shots. The complaint was that Kelsey Mitchell found her rhythm instead. And to be clear, this isn't a criticism of Mitchell. If a player is scoring 37 points, nobody should be pretending she needs to apologize for being good at basketball. Mitchell did exactly what a scorer is supposed to do when the opportunities are there. She attacked, knocked down shots, got to the free throw line, and carried a massive share of the offensive load. The problem, according to frustrated fans, was the balance. They watched the offense and felt Clark wasn't being given enough opportunities to get comfortable before the game started.
Don't you walk away from me. Yeah, I'm walking away. I'm walking away. Again, folks, not the most entertaining game. Weren't too many screens set for Caitlin Clark today. Personally, I wanted to see her be a little bit more aggressive. She finished taking 15 shots. Me personally, she finished the first half shooting 2 for 7. Shoot, if we're shooting 2 for 7, at that point, shoot 2 for 11. Keep hunting that shot. Keep hunting that shot. Keep hunting that shot.
Slipping away. They pointed to the lack of early pick-and-roll actions designed specifically for her, the limited movement used to create clean three-point looks, and several possessions where she appeared to give up the ball without getting it back. That's an important distinction, because there's a difference between saying Caitlin Clark should shoot every possession and saying one of the most dangerous offensive players in basketball should be actively involved in the offense. Nobody's asking for a version of the sport where everybody else stands in the corner and waits for permission to touch the ball. Basketball doesn't work that way. When she's reduced to standing off the ball for long stretches, the offense can start looking like someone accidentally changed the Wi-Fi password and nobody knows where the connection went. That was the frustration surrounding this game. Fans felt Mitchell was being deliberately established early, while Clark was expected to figure things out later. By the time the Fever began putting her in more favorable actions, she'd already missed enough shots to make the entire night feel like an uphill climb. And once a shooter starts losing rhythm, basketball can quickly become a psychological battle as much as a physical one. Every missed shot adds a little more pressure to the next attempt. Every possession starts to feel heavier, and an aggressive defender suddenly looks even harder to beat. Instead of playing freely and reacting naturally to what's happening on the floor, a player can gradually become more conscious of the misses that came before.
191 to 85. I'm disgusted, B. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Kelsey Mitchell did have a good game. She dropped 37 points. She officially passed A'ja Wilson, so she has the most consecutive 20-point games. With that being said, Stephanie White, can we get back to trying to win basketball games now? She has the streak. She won it. She won it. Can we get back to trying to win now? Because I think this is nasty. All right, it was blatantly clear to me that she was making this game about Kelsey Mitchell, to the point that Aaliyah Boston's not playing good. Caitlin Clark's not playing good. Like, let me tell you something stupid. We ain't gonna win nothing like this.
Clark appeared to face exactly that kind of frustration as the game wore on. And although she tried to become more aggressive later in the contest, it seemed increasingly difficult for her to find the rhythm that had escaped her earlier. As the game became more frustrating, attention eventually shifted away from the missed shots and toward a moment involving Stephanie White. A clip began circulating in which Clark appeared to turn away while White was attempting to communicate with her. And that brief interaction immediately took on a life of its own online. The reality is that a few seconds of video can't reveal the complete relationship between a player and a coach. Clark had just
do with them seeing Caitlin Clark climbing that MVP ladder, and they said, hell no, we are sabotaging this, and that is exactly what happened. The Indiana Fever lose to a team in the Dallas Wings that lost 8 out of their last 11 games. You could thank Stephanie White, who wanted to make it all about Kelsey Mitchell. I am disgusted with the Indiana Fever. I am disgusted. Stephanie White, get your bum ass in the trash. Get your bum ass in the trash. You are a bum of a coach. You are terrible. You are terrible. You mean to tell me the very first play of the game was ran for Kelsey Mitchell? Caitlin Clark threw her a bounce pass. Kelsey Mitchell went to turn the corner, got fouled, went to the free throw line.
Just endured a difficult game. The Fever were dealing with the frustration of a disappointing loss, and emotions were understandably running high. It's entirely possible that moment reflected nothing more than a player frustrated with herself, wanting to move on from a difficult sequence and reset for the next possession. At the same time, once a moment like that appears on camera, particularly when it involves Caitlin Clark, fans are naturally going to study every movement as though they've suddenly been hired by some kind of basketball behavior unit. That's the strange reality of professional sports in the modern era. Once fans begin to suspect there may be tension between two people, almost every interaction starts looking like evidence. If a coach speaks to a player,
Mug get hacked down her every play. We seen her get tackled tonight alone. Well, I'm ready to tell you, there's more, because Caitlin Clark is single-handedly, subliminally telling us fans that there's issues going on with Stephanie White. Now, Caitlin Clark was on the sideline. Stephanie White was trying to talk to Caitlin Clark. Now, this should not come as a surprise. When Caitlin Clark gets frustrated, she don't want to talk to nobody. And this was another situation like that. Only thing different is Caitlin Clark sat, she listened for a little bit, kind of turned away, walked away, went to the bench. Caitlin Clark got back in the game, got the ball, and Caitlin got like this move, a gesture. You can tell when Caitlin Clark not finna pass.
Viewers wonder whether the conversation is supportive or critical. If the player looks away, social media immediately starts drafting a relationship obituary for a partnership that may not even have a real problem. Before long, One awkward camera angle can produce a dozen different theories, several of them built entirely on speculation about what's happening behind closed doors. The discussion surrounding the clip is largely based on interpretation, body language, and timing. Nothing more concrete than that. However, even if the viral reaction went further than the actual evidence could support, the conversation still raised a more important basketball question underneath all of it. Are Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever consistently getting the most out of their offensive system? That question becomes particularly interesting when you factor in Aaliyah Boston's role in the offense. Boston finished the game with 14 points and 9 rebounds, but some fans were frustrated by what they believed were missed opportunities in the connection between her and Clark, possessions where the two of them seemed to be operating a beat apart from each other, instead of in sync, at exactly the moments the Fever needed that chemistry most.
Oh, what did this thing end? It's a 6-point game, but guys, that's a little deceiving. The entire second half felt like all wings. You kept thinking Caitlin Clark was going to get hot and start doing something. That didn't happen. Kelsey Mitchell had a big damn game. Real big. But in the end, it was not enough. It was not enough at all.